Welcome to LinkedUp, Breaking Boundaries in Education, a podcast that focuses on what is happening in education today, connecting everyone to the movers and shakers that are breaking boundaries in the education arena.
Welcome to LinkedUp, Breaking Boundaries in Education. We are at ISTE, ASCD live. And believe it or not, it looks like Jerri and I are not together, but we have been able to give hugs. We are together. We're across the registration floor so that we don't have audio issues. But of course, we are meeting all the best people. Jerri, as usual.
We are. And you know what? Our view out the window is the river walk. It's so beautiful. But
San Antonio, right.
Our guest today came a long way to get here. Brett Salakas. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Good.
Okay. So he and I met probably, it had to be about 10 years ago.
About
Yes.
10 years ago.
And you always hear about this because I met all the best people at iPad Palooza back in the day. So much fun happened at that event.
Yep.
Yes. But Brett traveled to America and he is here for the ISTE conference. How many times have you been to ISTE?
Not a tremendous amount of times. Tremendous amount of times. And for anyone who is listening in, as you can probably tell from the accent, yes, I did travel a long way, and I've traveled all the way from Sydney, Australia, to be here. I just came just for this podcast. That's the
That's right. He came just to do it live.
We love that.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so we'll be traveling to Sydney to see you
You
next.
can hop on my podcast.
Yes, of
And
course.
we do the same. We do the same way. Yeah.
Yes. But Brett has been an educational leader for years. He's been doing such incredible work. But before we begin, I'm noticing this absolutely cool necklace you have on.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful.
What
What is it?
Yeah, actually, you've got a good eye. I wear
Yes.
I would say what this is, and then ask me a follow-up question of why I wear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I am in a position at the moment where I get to, on a national scale, work with different ministries of education, and help with digital transformation from a policy point of view, but then also from an executed sort of a point of view with working with different school leaders and all that sort of stuff. Recently, I've now also taken on responsibility for New Zealand. So I've been doing the same thing with the Ministry of Education for New Zealand. And I was working with a little cluster of schools that were bilingual Maori schools. So these were in a cluster of schools in the traditional tribal grounds of one of the Maori, part of the Maori land that I guess is everyone knows, and anyone who's seen the haka when they do before a sports match would know.
Yes.
The Maoris were fierce warriors, and unlike many native peoples, actually forced a treaty with the British Empire at the time. So there are, if any, I guess, indigenous sort of culture is represented strongly in a modern contemporary culture, it would be in New Zealand. And I was working with a few schools, and then one of the Maori elders gave me this. This is a punamu, and it's a green stone, right? So, and the punamu, you cannot carve one for yourself, and you cannot purchase one for yourself. You can only be given one. You can never take one. You can only be given one. So, as a thank you for working with that cluster of schools over a period of time, this was blessed by a Maori priest and then given to me by an elder. And they say the punamu itself is stronger depending on the manu of the person who gave it to you. So what that means is, like, the more respect that you have for that individual,
Right.
or the more respect and status they have within the community. But it can be a humble person that you tremendously respect, and that means they have tremendous amount of manu, and so they have all that sort of stuff. So, and I was given this one because it's in the shape of a chisel, because they are carved into different shapes to have different purposes and different cultural sort of things. And so the chisel it's a tool. It's potentially a weapon, but it's mainly a tool too. So it's strength and courage and bravery, and then also protection. And And yeah. So I love to have this, and this is what that's about. But I only wear it. I only wear it when I travel overseas. Now, this might sound a little
Really?
bit nerdy, Jamie, because I grew up in a house. Neither of my parents actually finished high school. They both, for different reasons, had to exit probably at about year 9, year 10, and find their own way. And my mum struggles a little bit with her literacy, right? So in my house, we didn't have a lot of books growing up, and probably a late bloomer in the I guess acquisition of the more subtle aspects of language and the more nuanced sort of vocabulary that we can sort of have. But in my 20s, late 20s, I moved to Singapore, and I was teaching in Singapore, and it's like the internet was around, but
Yeah.
pre-smartphones were, and so
Right.
you know what? I was in a strange country, finding my feet, and I went to the bookshop a lot and had this book exchange, and I read every classic book that you could imagine. All the classics. I had this thing. I wanted to read Moby Dick, and then after Moby Dick, then all these others for that same sort of era and genre, and then because I wanted to read, because I thought everyone else, I thought it was normal to have had books in your house and that everyone reads, and all of these classic books everyone would already know all about.
Right.
And then I read them, and then I found out that no one actually reads those books at all. But now I still love them. I love them, and I reread them. But one of is King Solomon's Mines. Have either of you read King Solomon's Mines?
No.
Okay, so King Solomon's Mines is the prototype of the adventurous Indiana Jones style sort of
That sounds
traveling
fun.
across somewhere exotic, and traps and booby traps and scary animals and all this ancient artifacts and all that sort of stuff. It was the first book. King Solomon's Mines sets that genre up. That genre didn't exist.
Oh,
There wasn't that type of book
Okay.
in the Victorian era. So like that.
right.
So like this is the first incarnation of that, and sets the tone. And the main character in there, is a guy called Alan Quatermain, and he's like an adventurer, a ranger, sort of across Africa, and he leads because of many adventures and all that sort of stuff. And then someone says, "How do you survive all this stuff?" He goes, Africa loves me too much to let me die." Right?
Oh,
It's a beautiful line.
yes.
And I know this is going to sound corny, and it's completely implausible and not true, and it's a bit of Brett craziness, right? But I feel so safe in Australia. Like, I love my country. I love my country very much, and I think Australia loves me too much to let me die. I
Yes.
feel safe. I do not think I'm ever going to die in Australia. So this is crazy, but
So-
I always get a little bit nervous when I fly internationally, because I'm far away from Australia.
Yes.
Australia is not. It's too far for Australia to reach over and protect me. So when I got given this, I don't wear it when I'm at home, but whenever I'm traveling abroad, basically don't take it off my chest. It's
Yes, it's your
the-
safety.
yeah. The motto that is now in here keeps me safe.
I love that
Really,
story.
that's incredible, because you just thought it was beautiful. And so you
Yes, it is
out.
beautiful.
And now we know how much meaning there is behind it, and it almost embodies who you are. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. And you know what's weird? I mean, obviously this piece is a unique piece, but like what you say there is true for every aspect. And this is what I guess good teachers are. Well, we're at ISTE.
Yes.
Obviously there's technology, and I think I jokingly asked a group yesterday, said, what percentage of workshops that you've been to have had AI in it at some point? And the average was about 90%.
Yeah, I was
About
gonna say,
90%,
yeah.
right? So you talk there about little things that we notice in each other that have such a deeper meaning. And I think
Right.
that is true, like for us as human beings, everyone we meet, but particularly as educators, when it's incumbent on us to nurture and develop the children within our care. Teaching is more than just content.
Transactional,
It's not the transfer of content.
No.
It's the
Building
shaping
relationships.
of the
Yes.
entire person or generation that we actually want it to exist within our society.
And
And you
we
just-
talk so much about building relationships.
Yeah.
And that was always my little secret. When kids came in my room that I was having a hard time connecting with, I would say something like, I notice you wear a Ravens jersey. And then they start talking to me. It's just noticing,
That's it.
right?
That's it.
Yep.
I noticed.
You know
Actually,
Yes.
I am wearing an American football jersey
You
at the
are.
moment because one, I was curious to see how well I could blend in, see if I
Oh.
could
Blend in.
assimilate. I think once I start speaking, might be a bit
Yeah,
of a
and
giveaway.
that gives it
But
away.
I reckon I can blend. I
Yeah.
reckon I can blend.
You can.
But also, I love poetry.
Yes.
and
Oh,
I- yeah.
yes.
When I learned, I didn't really have an American football team that I supported, and a few years ago with our mutual sort of friends, like
Yes.
you already mentioned Carl Walker connecting us at iPad Palooza. So for a number of years, I've been in a fantasy football
Oh, good.
thing, and it was very hard at first because I didn't really know much
About
about
it, yeah.
American football, but I have enjoyed the friendship that you
Yes,
get
yes.
from that, and then also learning's always nice. But it took a few years. I was trying hard to pick your team because when you don't grow up in the area or
Right,
grow
it
up in
is
that culture, it's
hard.
hard. And I want to be loyal once I pick my team.
Oh,
be loyal.
Good.
So then I was actually listening to a history podcast about Edgar Allan Poe, and The Raven is one of my most favorite poems. Well, I did not realize that when they transferred what was the Cleveland Browns and made the
Oh,
new
right.
enterprise that was in Baltimore, and they had to pick a name,
The
that
Ravens.
the stadium is right near Edgar Allan Poe's house, and they've called the
Seriously?
Ravens named after the poem The Raven. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my
That's your team.
that's my team. That's my
There you
team. That's
go.
my poem. That's my team.
I
There
love
it is.
that.
And I
story.
just love that a big masculine, like
yeah,
yeah.
people are going to think
You know-
you're a Ravens player.
well, but not only that, like I think big and strong and macho football team
Yes.
aligned with
They-
literacy and
Yeah, it's cool.
learning and vocabulary. That's a good message to send out to the world.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
And what a
point, good
great
point.
story. I love your stories.
Yeah.
You are a master storyteller, and just like you said before, yes, 90% ish of the sessions here on AI, I actually tried to use AI to do a comparison between the sessions from last year and the sessions from this year. I haven't gone through
Oh.
the analysis, but definitely more. And I was hoping deeper, better content of not just surface level usage of AI, but yes, I was hoping for that.
We're not seeing it yet, are we?
No,
Not yet. Not yet.
well,
Patches.
it's coming.
there are some.
Patches.
They're there.
Yes.
Some are there.
Patches.
Some are there.
Yeah.
But that's the point, is that hopefully we're getting to a point where we are leading with the relationship
that's-
building, and we're leading with the storytelling, and AI will be there and technology will be there for the support. So yeah.
Yeah.
But what are
I think no. I was going to say. I think if you've actually hit on something that is the opportunity of AI, but also the biggest risk that I see, that I fear of all the concerns about AI. It's the thing that I'm yet to see people articulate, and I'm not smart enough to research it, but I think we need a conversation on it. And I think you're right. So I'm pro AI. Like I work for a technology company. I'm now HP's education ambassador for Australia and New Zealand. Very proud. I love my job. I'm very blessed to do what I do. I am pro tech, and so I want to establish that.
yes.
And more than
right.
I'm pro tech, I am pro AI. I
Right.
use AI every day of my life. I'm happy. I don't think I could do remotely the same output without it. So I am pro AI.
That's so true.
But here is the risk, and you've said it with storytelling. Here is the risk of AI that we are not particularly aware of, or not talking enough about just yet. And that is that we know there are a lot of AI grifters. Okay, and I think we need to use that word more often. I think that needs to be a more frequent vocabulary. There are AI grifters, people who are doing something not AI until very, very recently, and now they have AI in their title and everything about them is AI.
Yes.
And they're experts, and those people are advising schools and districts and administrations, and that's risky and that's dangerous. Now,
Totally agree.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So true.
but the grift gets worse.
I like
The
the
grift,
grifters.
the grift gets worse because I'm also an author, and I love my books. And we were just talking about like how much I love to read, and certainly I love my poetry. I love to write. But on Amazon, there has been, since the launch of ChatGPT, a 9,000% increase in children's books that are being released and published on Amazon. There is a
Wow.
9,000, and that stat is actually probably about 6 to 9 months old. So it could be worse
Yes.
now. A 9,000. So clearly, AI is doing the lifting on a lot of children's literature.
Yes.
Pause there for a moment.
And the art. They're
And the
doing
art
the
too. Yeah,
art
there's the art,
in the books
the
too.
the
Yes.
images. That's
Yes.
a whole other grift that
Yes.
we're stealing from artists and creatives and all that sort of.
Yes.
That's a whole other grift as well. So it's like, yeah, there's this children's literature. We've got artists and all of the I guess the ethics and morality question about who owns the IP of their art and
Right.
what we want developing in our youth. But then also this grift of the actual storytelling themselves, right? And
Yes.
let me unpack that. Human beings have evolved to be very, very selfish and self-centered in our youth.
Yes.
You think of a baby,
Yeah.
a baby doesn't care about anyone else. A baby we are actually hardwired to be self-centered. We need to cry for our food. We cry when we are cold. We cry when we need to be cleaned and all that sort of stuff. We are self-centered in our youth.
Yes.
We need to for survival. That's actually hardwired it into the
Right.
human species. That has to be it. So when do we change from being that egocentric self to actually starting to have empathy for others? How do we learn that? Most cultures learn that. Jamie, you said it, through storytelling. So most
Yes.
cultures do that through storytelling. So I loved the lyrics when I was little. Like, so
Right.
when you read the lyrics to someone, I speak for the trees because the trees have no voice. Children learn empathy through storytelling. In our culture, that's often through children's books that we read. Then I go back to that other statement about a 9,000% increase in
Yeah.
children's books. So there is something magical. There is a special thing that happens because words on a paper mean nothing. They have no meaning until someone reads them and has some sort of emotional response. So there is a special connection between an author and a reader that happens for a moment, a transfer of comprehension, a transfer of that story. Now, that's important. So what's that magical thing for our youth when they look at the lyrics or they read the lyrics or they have these children's books read to them? They can see for the first time other people's perspectives.
Yes.
They can visualize how other people may feel or respond or act or do or interpret.
Emotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at a 9,000% increase, clearly the books are being written by AI. Now,
Yes.
that's a bot that has no empathy.
Right.
By its definition, it has no empathy. And it can write a story and it can do sentence structure and put the appropriate grammar in, and it knows beginning, middle, and end. And it knows how to follow the flow of a mimicked storyline and mimic empathy, but it doesn't have empathy.
Right.
So I really actually do feel there is a potential risk
I see
that
where you're going
we're
with this.
not.
Yes.
We're not. If the human species is self-absorbed for survival, and the way that we actually develop empathy and other person-centeredness and the beginnings of society and all the sorts of societies that we want to win in, if that happens through story and in our
Yes.
culture through the sharing of books, and now we're offloading that to a soulless bot that can't have empathy and then can't
Yes.
transfer that, is there a tremendous risk to our emerging thing. And should we legislate? Should we think about it? I just don't think we're having the conversation about this sort of thing. Like, we know that social media had a huge impact, positives and
Right.
significant negatives on the youth. If we could go back a decade and maybe put in some safety guardrails to make sure
Right.
we could protect our
Do it
our
right.
young, we probably would. I don't think anyone would say, yeah, we'll just let the tech companies have free reign and we'll try and rein it in like 15 years later. Should we be having that conversation about AI now protecting our youth, and not just that data sovereignty, but even just the developmental phase of empathy of our youth?
I love that. It took me back to when I was a school counselor and we would do character education. And it was through storytelling that we could do the character ed and development and then have them expand on it in their life. So I see where you're going with this. This is scary.
Yeah. So it's scary. But herein lies the opportunity. And I don't know if you know this, in Chinese written language, like that, you know how Chinese have characters
Right.
for whole words instead of like a
Right.
phonetic sort of thing. So the character for crisis is the same as the character as the word opportunity. So the one single word that means crisis also simultaneously means opportunity.
Risk
Love
and
that.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Together, hand in hand.
So if we come back to this risk of our youth and our storytelling, we need to make sure that we are protecting our youth, and we're having the conversations, and we're
Yes.
doing the academic research, and we're lobbying politicians, and as educators, we're making our voice heard. But beyond that, we also then have that opportunity, even though there's that crisis, that opportunity that if we make ourselves heard, we can change a lot of practice with AI. I think the best case scenario for AI
Yes.
is that we realize the value of human connectedness.
yes,
So true.
exactly. I
Because
do.
the more automated our lives are, the more automated our teaching is, the more automated our students' lives are. Like, something is worth more when it's more precious and rare, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And so as those things become rarer, the value and importance a teacher and a parent, and then hopefully that the student, as they're developing, sometimes not, will really see the worth and value, and that we will actually, particularly in education, prioritize those traditional mentorships that that the original pedagogues, the ancient Greeks, they were mentors as much as content transferring.
Yes.
Right? So,
Yes. And
Brett,
we need
I
more of
feel
that
the same
mentoring.
way. Yes, I feel the
Yes.
same exact way. I feel that there is all of the risks that we do see in AI. I do feel the same in terms of the opportunity that is available to get back to the relationship building, the conferencing, the small group instruction, to really have that opportunity for teachers to build relationships with students. So my hope is that AI is going to help bring that about, because of, what you just said regarding having less of something gives you the opportunity for more of something else. So
That
that's,
is true.
I'm really hoping
Yes.
for that as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and we have the human intelligence movement on. Michelle Ament from the human intelligence movement on the podcast, and so it goes back to that whole concept.
Yeah.
It really does. Are you presenting here at ISTE
Yes, I
on this topic?
no, but that would have been a good idea,
would-
right?
Yeah,
Great
develop
idea.
that.
Actually, you'll laugh, and I probably showed a side of my I'm relaxed mode, right? So I probably
Yes.
showed a side of my I guess professional side that I don't always get to put out. But so lately in my keynotes, I've been doing a lot of fancy dress up. You said storytelling. I do, right?
Jerry also.
I got
know.
to see some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my session at ISTE, actually, I was quite chuffed because I got an email the other day saying they had moved my session to one of the main ballrooms. So apparently there was a big. So I had a real lovely, had a very lovely sized crowd in there, and I did a talk called an AI Odyssey. Now, What that was, it was actually, I did show some practical AI tools, and happy to talk about those if you like to. Let's see how the conversation goes. But actually, it was a talk about leadership, and it was for middle leaders potentially, senior leaders, and then probably even district leaders. And it's the narrative of the actual Greek myth, Homer's Odyssey. Like, you know, Homer's
Yes.
Odyssey. Yeah. So for the listeners who may not be familiar with Homer's Odyssey, so there's a character called Odysseus. That's where we get the word Odyssey from, Odysseus, right? And Odysseus had fought in the Battle of Troy, you know, with the big Trojan horse and all that sort of stuff. And
Yes.
so he had been away at war for many years. He had to leave his wife, the Queen Penelope, and he had a newborn son, and he hadn't seen them for a long time. And then on his way home, he makes the Greek gods mad, and they decide to mess with his journey on the way home. And it takes 10 years. It takes a decade for him to get home from the Battle of Troy all the way home to his island of Ithaca. And he goes on, he's beset by, this is where the sirens, you know, the sirens that sing their alluring song to sailors, and the sailors sail over and crash into the, all that sort of stuff. So I broke down the Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey, but I overlaid the narrative of the AI journey that we're going on.
Oh, yes.
So we've been in this big battle for the big battle for using tech appropriately and making sure it's of value and not of just, you know, bells and whistles, and it's pedagogically sound. And I think we're certainly, I don't think that war's over, but I think we're winning that war now. I think most of the tech companies understand that you need educators at their core, and you actually need to do something pedagogically sound. Otherwise, you'll be in business for 6 months and then see you later.
Right.
Yes.
So, we go through and we sort of had a look at how AI and stuff goes. But what I did was I actually did that entire talk dressed in an ancient Greek toga, with the vine leaves around my head and the big shawl, barefoot, and it's like in Socrates, Plato, that sort of guy.
I wish we would have been there.
I was dressed
Jamie.
as Odysseus, and then sort of went through that narrative of, you know, the tech bros, of the sirens that are called that sound lovely, and because we don't have.
This is
We don't
brilliant.
have, we don't want to spend 10 years getting
Right.
to where we need to be in AI. We don't want to spend 10 years getting to Ithaca, 10 years getting to where we need to get. We need to get there fast. So we actually need to know precisely where we want, what our purpose is in AI, what we want to achieve as a school leader or a district leader, where we want to get to, and then map that out so that we don't get pulled away by those sirens or those monsters. And we can actually do that. Because when you pick wisely, you know the strategy, and you can guide your school, you can guide your district to where you want to be. But if you get called by those monsters lurking at the side, it can take you a long time to move the culture of wherever you are influenced to the correct spot.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. I love that message that you drove home in that session. I was in the Making It Happen awards luncheon, and Jay McTighe was talking, and of course, by design is what he was driving home for us, and that's really what we need to do. We, just like you mentioned, we're jumping in with the excitement, but there needs to be purpose, always purpose. Technology should only be the supporting role, while we as learners, students, the curriculum, that is the lead, right? That's the lead. Technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
By design. We need to work by design.
Do you have any more sessions coming up yet?
I don't. I'm done.
You're done.
That's why you're so relaxed. Yes.
That's it. That's why I'm in chill mode.
Yes.
Have you seen anything exciting here that excites you? Or
Well, okay. I will say, okay, I'll say this. So strangely, I have an obsession. We're in Texas.
yes.
I have an obsession for Buc-ee's.
Oh, I have not ever been to Buc-ee's.
No.
Okay, so I've been here 6 days. I've been to 5 different Buc-ee's already.
Oh my gosh.
I love Buc-ee's. I love
Buc-ee's
We
Buc-ee's.
go together to Buc-ee's.
Jamie, have you been to Buc-ee's?
What is it?
No,
Barbecue? What
she
is
has
it?
never been to Buc-ee's. I can
What is it?
guarantee
Okay, so
you
you know
she's
what?
never been.
You know what, Jamie? You've just lost your entire Texan audience. They've
I'm
just
sorry.
turned off.
Sorry.
Wow.
Well, then
Buc-ee's
maybe I
is a
should.
Texan institution.
All right. Well,
Yes.
then we need to do a podcast out of Buc-ee's. Maybe we'll do that. We'll get them
Oh,
back.
that would be
Get 'em
great.
back.
Do you know what? I will. I
figure
will.
out what Buc-ee's is first.
Okay, listen, but
Yes.
you're right.
It's a convenience
No,
store.
it's a gas
Oh.
station.
It's a gas station.
It's a gas station,
Oh,
right?
I was like, is it a
And
barbecue?
it was. It,
no
it,
way
it
she's been
started out. It became very, very famous. It won apparently multi years in a row the cleanest toilets in America.
Oh, that's important.
Oh.
That's very
Yeah, and you know what? We giggle, but it's actually very, very important.
It is
Right.
very important.
And that became important to a lot of families that were going
Really?
road trips on.
Yes.
You know what? I don't know if you know, Texas is a big state.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of road trips to be had. So these Buc-ee's franchise just grew and grew and grew and grew, and they're very popular. So they needed to put in a lot of pumps. So the one that I went to first, I think I landed because I landed in Dallas, and I went just out to Buc-ee's at Fort Worth. 130 pumps, 130 gas pumps.
We better go to a Buc-ee's. Is there one
So
nearby?
yeah, we'll go.
Okay.
So, but so when you walk into the shop, you imagine 130, but then the car park dwarfs that because people don't just go there for gas. Like,
Oh, yeah.
people go. It's an experience, right?
It is
So,
an experience.
When you
Yeah, look
walk
one
in,
up.
yeah, when you walk in, it's like a Costco. Like
Okay,
there's,
okay.
Oh, it is?
it's got everything you could imagine. It has like a beef jerky, an entire wall of beef jerky. So if you can imagine a gas station on the scale of a Costco or a Walmart
Oh,
selling
Wow.
gas station type stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
I have a friend that has a Buc-ee's swimming suit.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's so
it's-
cute.
So here's the
Wow,
the Buc-
this is
so, yeah.
something.
and the symbol,
I
the
know.
mascot is a big beaver.
It is a beaver, Buc-ee beaver.
Buc-ee
Keep
beaver. Oh my gosh.
Now get this. Now get this.
Okay.
So last night, Carl, this is you might
Yeah.
have to give credit to Carl as one of the co-hosts or the co-guests here because we've
Yes,
mentioned his name
yes.
We are
too
mentioning
many
him.
times, right? So Carl and Adam File
Oh, yes.
Yes.
hosted with Brisk teaching the
Yes.
Oh,
we had-
yes.
we
the
had-
poetry slam. The poetry slam last night. Like so
Yes.
last night there was the poetry slam.
We missed.
Carl, well, I wish you hadn't of because you'd
know.
understand Buc-ee's because
Oh.
about a week ago, Carl called me and said someone had pulled out and would I do a poem? And I'm like, okay,
Okay, of course.
what am I going to do a poem on? And work had been very, very busy.
Oh, it's coming.
Work had been very, very busy. And I hadn't had a chance to write one. So I had already said yes. And I'm sitting on, let's say, 19 hours in an airplane to get there,
Sure.
right? Like, so I had,
Time.
it's about 13 hours from Sydney to LA. And then I had a couple of hours layover in LA and then a few hours here as well. So it's like almost like a full
Yeah.
day. But I took the vomit bag out of the seat in front of me and I ripped it and opened it up. So I got a nice big A4 sheet of paper and I took my pen and I wrote a poem about what Buc-ee's could teach us about education on the back of the vomit bag. And then last night at the poetry slam, I got into a beaver onesie and I read my poem
Why
that
did
was
we
written
miss this?
live. Literally, I had the vomit bag there.
I wish you had the
I'll
vomit
show you
bag
some-
right now.
I'll show you some photos in a bit. After we
wanna
record, I'll
see
show you
them.
some photos.
No. You know what?
Oh, well,
Honestly-
tell us just 3 things Buc-ee's can teach us.
Yes.
We got to
Okay.
know.
Yes.
Okay, so do you know what? Okay, one, Buc-ee's isn't like it's cringy, right? It's cringy. Buc-ee's is cringy.
Yeah.
And we giggled at it because it had clean toilets, like a toilet. So that's funny, right?
Yeah.
Little toilets. But in education, we don't always do the glamorous stuff.
No.
We have to do the not fun stuff. So
Right.
Buc-ee's doesn't chase trends. It doesn't chase what is the newest pitch is. It doesn't chase the bells. It doesn't chase the whistles. Buc-ee's wouldn't give a hoot about 90% of all of the things that are in the expo floor. Like it's unapologetically Texan. It's unapologetically like toilets. It's unapologetically uncool, and that makes it bloody awesome because it knows its purpose and it does its purpose perfectly well.
It. Yeah.
We need to, and this goes back to even our AI conversation earlier, we need to know our purpose in education as individuals. We need to know our purpose when we use AI.
Yes.
And if we don't always just choose the sexy things, we don't always just choose whatever the most awesome pitch is, but if we know with clarity what we want and we stay true to what we are all about, people will love it as a result and people will come and we will impact on students' lives. We need to be more like Buc-ee the Beaver.
Be more Buc-ee.
Be more
Yeah.
Buc-ee.
Yes.
Be more
Be more-
Buc-ee.
Oh.
You know, this whole time I've been thinking, so Marvin is our producer. Marvin's in the background here. And he always, has told us you can't script this. And in the beginning, when we did this 5 years ago, Jerri and I really tried to script the podcast. So Marvin, obviously, this is not scripted, correct? I mean, this.
Right.
podcast-
Oh, I worked on this all night. Are you guys going off the cuff? This was
Yeah,
very
but also-
methodically pre-planned.
But I'm also thinking, like, there's so many topics we just covered today. What actually would be the title of this
Be more
podcast?
Buc-ee.
Be more Buc-ee? Is it
Be more Beaver.
Be more Beaver.
Is it, the intentionality, authenticity? Yeah, crisis and opportunity. I mean,
Oh, do you know what?
Yes.
Do you know what? That's actually crisis and opportunity is cool.
Yes.
I like that.
So
Let's do that.
many.
You've given us so many nuggets, though,
Yeah.
that we could.
You'll have to look up the Chinese character or
Yes.
the word
I was
and
going
have,
to do that.
and
and
have that and the and the
yes,
I love that.
Yeah.
yes,
Oh,
yes. I love
It
love
has
that.
been a pleasure.
Do you know what? I think actually this little bit here has been is my favorite part of the podcast so far. This last like little 60 seconds. This is like us authentically being real, not actually
Yes.
not on the soapbox, but actually just being
yeah.
passionate people, having a giggle
Sure.
and learning from each other.
Yes.
Love
Well,
it.
thank
I
you
love it.
so much.
No,
I love you,
Brett.
Jerri.
Yes. Oh, I love you.
I love you.
and I'll run
anytime,
down and get
any-
my hug too.
You can get a hug at a second.
Yes.
All right,
You can get a dance with me tonight at Howard.
Yes.
all right. Let's do it. Let's.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you for listening. And if you would like to stay linked up, be sure to follow us on Apple and Spotify and subscribe to us on YouTube.